Loki season finale was glorious, with purpose. What's up? It's Tech, it's GVN, roll it. What's up? Welcome to the channel. This is GVN, where we review movies, series, animations, and all that good stuff to give you guys the best recommendations, our opinions, and all that. Now, Loki season finale. Remember in the last episode, I talked about how much the MCU had to make sure that the season finale was just as great as the beginning, the pilot episode, and that they did. Like, they stopped the landing. From the very beginning, the Marvel Studios intro, you could hear different voices from the multiverse, and I like the touch that they added with the different characters. When you see a character, you hear a famous line from them. When we saw T'Challa, Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, we heard Wakanda Forever. It was dope. Oh, and also, in case you are not aware yet, if you've not seen the series, this is going to have a lot of spoilers for it. I mean, it's a week now, so I'm expecting that everybody watching should have seen it. But if you haven't, this is your spoiler warning. So yeah, you can still watch it and enjoy this ride with us. All right, moving on. Now that intro, you saw how we came in, right? We saw one timeline, one universe, and this was another universe just stacked beside it, side by side. Now that played an important role moving forward because as we saw, Loki and Sylvie got to the tower at the end of time, right? And they were like, okay, whoever this big bad is, they are going to just mess this person up and make sure everything is fixed, in quotes. But then, I mean, to their surprise, okay, first and foremost, it was Miss Minutes. Now, Miss Minutes character, I mean, of course, we know that Loki season 2 has been confirmed compared to all the other series. Like, they've confirmed this much, right? I'd love to know more about Miss Minutes character because, yes, she feels like an outlier, while at the same time, she knows a lot and she seems to have some power. Because her offering Sylvie all of those things and then offering Loki even the power to defeat Thanos, and the one who remains will still find a way to walk them into all of that. I honestly, I think it was just to show the kind of power or the kind of access that Miss Minutes has, and I'm looking forward to her being explored a lot more in season 2. But then moving forward, we see that, oh yeah, lo and behold, the person that was pulling all the strings in the background, the TV and everything was, yeah, like we thought or we speculated, a lot of people speculated, Kang the Conqueror, because there's Renslayer in the series, right? There was every possibility that it would be him, and it was, but it's not Kang the Conqueror that we know. It's a variant of Kang who, from all indications, was more goofy and benevolent. I like the fact that Jonathan Majors played this character so well. And see, here's the funny thing. He knew about them coming, right? He was saying all of these things. He was talking about him knowing everything and him making sure that his time machine could, loop left, right, droop. And then because it could tell exactly when they would attempt to take his life. And honestly, it sounded like a lot of bullshit to me, right? Because I was like, okay, yeah, you know so much, but really, do you know this much? And yeah, lo and behold, we saw that there was that point where dude was like, okay, in 10 seconds, 9 seconds, I don't know what comes next. And that was when it actually dawned on me. Like, that was when I actually believed in that. Oh, actually, yeah, this guy has been telling the truth the entire time. Of all the variants, he's actually a benevolent Kang. Of all the variants, he was actually telling the truth that, there has to be someone controlling this thing. And that was where Loki, our main Loki, and Sylvie now had a sort of clash, because Loki was like, okay, yo, Sylvie, I know you're pissed off, and yeah, this guy needs to pay for screwing up with your life and my life and all the other Loki's lives and so many other lives. But really, think about it. There would be a power vacuum, like this guy said. So if nobody steps in, then we just have to leave him. But there has to be someone, thinking about it, that version of Kang was eating an apple, right? So dude was eating an apple, and then there was Loki and there was Sylvie. I don't know whether this is something that the writers and the executive producers and whoever was behind the scenes planned. But it made me think of, because I'm a Christian, right? And even if you're not a Christian, you know the story of Adam and Eve. It's very popular all over the world. It made me think of Adam and Eve, the devil as a serpent, the apple. So the devil, the serpent, that to be Kang, Adam and Eve, Loki and Sylvie, him tempting them with an offer. Like, yo, see, the truth is, I'm just tired and I need someone to take over. So this is the devil giving them an offer. I mean, maybe that wasn't their plan. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it just felt like a little Easter egg to me, and I just had to put it out there. And one other thing I loved about this episode was, even though most of it was just them having a conversation, I mean, it's just 3 people in one scene talking. That was it for well over 20 minutes to like 30 minutes. It was just them in there talking, and they found a way to keep everything engaged. Like, yo, I barely blinked. I was just like this, looking at my screen the entire time, because I like the way it was edited, the way it was shot. Sometimes when Kang is talking about something, you see that the camera will move in slowly, and then at some point the camera will pull out. It was nice because it was trying to lay emphasis on what is saying at that particular point in time. And yes, of course, it alludes to the Kang of Kangs. Kang meeting up with so many versions of himself that they even had a council of Kangs talking about everything, let's conquer or not conquer or whatever it was. And he gave all of that explanation and everything. And so the reason why I said I loved this episode so much is everything about it was just so tight, was so coherent. Everything about it had meaning. Every single second in this particular episode had meaning, had gravity. Okay, so clearly we saw a fallout between Loki and Sylvie, right? The fought. And after that, it was clear that, yes, even though Sylvie was about to be convinced by Loki, and even though she understood the logic in his statement, at the same time, she was just so overcome by her thirst for vengeance that she just had to take it out on Kang. And that was what she did. Now, the funny thing is, after Kang said, I don't know what comes next, right? Loki and Sylvie, they kissed, and then she pushed him through the time portal. And that's another thing about Loki. Like, Loki is a narcissist, we know that, right? But how much of a narcissist do you have to be to fall in love with yourself? Yes, I know it's yourself in another timeline and everything, a variant version of yourself. But that's the only person Loki has fallen in love with in the MCU. Himself. Well, him as a she this time around. I just have to put it out there. But yeah, she pushed him through the time portal, and then what happens? He gets stabbed, right? So Sylvie said, nah, you just have to die. And then she stabbed him. But then, see, of all the badass lines I've heard from a villain, in quotes, to say after dying or knowing that they will die, see you soon just had to be like the baddest of them all. Like, he knew he was dying, but he knew he was so right. That was what he just said. Like, yo, see you soon. And yes, lo and behold, we see Loki in this, in the TVA, but it turns out that it was what? A different version of the TVA, a variant TVA, a different timeline. And camera pan, we see that it was Kang. It was no longer the timekeepers. And then I was like, yeah, it took me a couple of seconds to actually get my bearing, because that ending alone was just fantastic. Do you know what this means for the MCU moving forward? First and foremost, there's Spider-Man No Way Home, right? There is Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. Now, what many people might not know is this. According to the timeline, so there is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we're in phase 4, right? According to the timeline, the MCU does not have any other thing happening before Loki, after Endgame. So it's Endgame, Loki. So WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier that we saw actually happened after the events of Loki and every other thing moving forward. So even though this series came before, right, they are actually after, and the possibilities are just endless. Like, yo, Multiverse of Madness means anybody can come back, really. Because, it was established already that there are different versions of our different characters, right? It was an Iron Man in the main Endgame timeline, the Sacred timeline, that made or caused another Iron Man in the different timeline to have a cardiac arrest when Ant-Man went to his chest and pulled that stuff. For this, our Loki to escape because, main Sacred timeline Loki had died. So that means guys like Captain America, Captain America is old in Endgame. Iron Man that snapped himself to save the entire universe and died. He can actually come back. Now, we know in real life their contracts are over, but they could just sign one movie contract and come back into the MCU. Like, yo, see, the MCU, Marvel, they've bought themselves so much creative room, so much creative license to actually do anything and do it well. Because that's the beauty of their connected universe. They are doing everything so well that I am excited. Like, yo, I am so excited. And I am looking forward to what this means moving forward for the entire MCU. Because we know for a fact that Kang is going to appear in Quantumania, but I won't be surprised if he actually appears earlier before then. Because now this Kang that we are going to see is going to be a bad guy Kang. It's not going to be goofy, playful, sort of fun Kang that we saw in the Loki series, but it's going to be bad guy. I want to take over everything. I want to conquer Kang. And I am so looking forward to that. You know, one fun fact about Kang is his name is Nathaniel Richards, and in some sort of mythos, it's speculated that he's a descendant of Franklin Richards, that's Franklin and Sue. And these are, for those that might know, you already know. For those that don't know, these are the Fantastic Four. And you know now, Marvel, like in real life, Disney has bought Fox, right? So now that Fox has been bought, the Fantastic Four are meant to make a sort of appearance, right? And they'll be brought into the proper MCU. The possibilities are just endless. Like, yo, I am geeking out here because I am so excited about the possibilities of what will come. See, yo, I am looking forward to it. Like, Shang-Chi is coming out in September, the Eternals, and then Spider-Man in December, the Eternals in November. I am looking forward to everything, and I know that the MCU is just going to blow us out of the water with this one. So yeah, overall, this season finale gets an 11 over 10. Like, yo, I am geeking out, and I am saying it, and it's absolutely worth your time. You guys should check it out. Let me know what you thought about the season finale in the comment section. If there's any other Easter egg that I might have missed out, let me know, because one other thing I'll say I enjoyed about this season or this season finale is the fights. Even though it was just one small fight between Loki and Sylvie, I enjoyed it. Like, yo, tell me one thing about this episode that wasn't dope. Everything was dope. Check out this video next to know what rating I gave the Black Widow movie. This has been Tech for GVN. Peace.